Good day, everyone, and welcome to our training and workshop on Total Quality Management, TQM in short, for operational excellence. I'll be your facilitator. I'm excited to be here with the engineering, maintenance, operations, quality, and planning teams. Over presentation slides, we're going to explore a powerful philosophy that can change not just how we work, but also how we think about our roles and our contribution to the success of organization. Why TQM in your organization? Showing how TQM drives customer satisfaction, employee engagement, operational efficiency, and adaptation. Key points on the right emphasize moving from a reactive to a proactive culture. So why are we here? Because TQM is our pathway to operational excellence. It helps us satisfy our customers, engage our employees, and boost efficiency by reducing waste. This training is about making a crucial shift from a reactive, firefighting culture to a proactive fire prevention culture, fully aligned with our ISO 9001 standard. What is TQM? Showing the 4 principles: customer focus, continuous improvement, employee engagement, and process-centered approach. So what exactly is total quality management? It's not a program, it's a long-term philosophy. It's built on 4 key principles: putting the customer first, a relentless drive for continuous improvement, engaging every employee, and focusing on our processes. It's a holistic approach where everyone is responsible for quality.
There is a very strong link between TQM and our ISO 9001 certification. The easiest way to think about it is this. TQM is the philosophy, the culture, the why we focus on quality. ISO 9001 provides the framework, the system, the how we document and prove it. If we build a strong TQM culture, passing an ISO audit becomes easy, because quality is just part of our DNA. In fact, the alignment is very direct. Our TQM pillar of customer focus is right there in clauses 4 and 5 of the standard. Leadership and employee involvement are covered in clause 5. The process-centered approach is the core of clause 4.4 and clause 8. And our pillar of continuous improvement is the entire point of clause 10. They are perfectly aligned.
This slide focuses on total quality management, TQM, within the framework of ISO 9001 to 2015 quality management system. It highlights the critical relationship between quality assurance, QA, and quality control, QC, which are distinct yet closely linked functions. QA is about establishing processes and systems to ensure quality, while QC involves the operational techniques and activities used to fulfill quality requirements. The training aims to clarify these roles and how they complement each other to enhance overall quality. The Venn diagram visually reinforces this integration, showing where QA and QC overlap and where they differ. Understanding this interplay is essential for implementing effective quality management practices and meeting the standards outlined in the training objectives. This foundational knowledge supports continuous improvement and compliance in organizational processes. Let's start by clarifying 2 terms we hear a lot: quality control, or QC. Think of QC as the detector. It's a reactive set of activities. We do the work, and then QC checks to see if we got the right result. It's about finding defects after they've happened. It's an essential role. It's the gatekeeper that stops bad work from getting to the customer. Quality assurance, or QA, is the other side of the coin. Think of QA as the preventer. It's proactive. It's about designing a good system and good processes so that defects are never created in the first place. Having a detailed, correct procedure is QA. Calibrating your tools before you use them is QA. QA is all about building confidence that our process is capable of producing a quality outcome every time. This is the critical link. We don't just fix problems. We learn from them and improve our system. So how do these fit together in a TQM world? It's a continuous loop. Our QA system defines the process. We do the work. QC checks the output. Here is the most important part. When QC finds a defect, we don't just fix it. We use that information as feedback. We ask, why did our QA system, our process, fail? The answer to that question is what drives quality improvement, or QI. We use the failure to make our system stronger.
Now that we've learned the TQM philosophy and the tools, let's talk about making it a reality. A successful TQM implementation isn't automatic. It depends on a few key factors. First, and most importantly, it starts with a strong foundation of leadership commitment. This isn't just approval. It's active, visible support. Second, we must build a blame-free culture. We have to feel safe to point out problems, so we can fix the process, not blame the person. Third, training. This workshop is the first step. Everyone needs the skills to contribute. Fourth, a data-driven approach. We must use facts, not feelings, to make decisions. Fifth, collaboration. We have to break down silos and work together across departments. And finally, patience. TQM is a long-term cultural change, not a quick fix. It's a marathon, not a sprint. By embracing these factors, we create an environment where TQM can thrive and lead to real, sustainable improvements. We'll finish by creating a tangible action plan so you can leave this training ready to make a difference. Then, we roll out pilot projects to get early wins. Finally, we integrate TQM into our daily work and performance management to sustain the culture. So how do we begin this journey? A successful TQM implementation follows a structured roadmap. It all starts with Phase 1, Foundation and Planning. This is the most critical phase for long-term success. You can't build a strong house on a weak foundation. First, leadership must form a TQM steering committee. This high-level team will guide the entire process and champion the change. Next, we conduct the foundational training, exactly what we are doing these 2 days, to ensure everyone speaks the same language of quality. The committee then develops a clear vision and communication plan. Everyone needs to know why we are doing this, and what the goals are. Finally, we don't try to boil the ocean. We strategically identify a few pilot projects. These are opportunities to get an early visible win that will build momentum for the entire program. Getting Phase 1 right sets the stage for everything that follows.
Once our foundation is set, we move into Phase 2, pilot and rollout. This is where the theory becomes practice. First, we provide focused training for the pilot teams and their facilitators. These facilitators will act as coaches to guide the teams through the problem-solving process. Next, we officially launch the pilot quality circles. These teams start working on the problems they identified, using the tools and methods from their training. A critical step is to communicate and celebrate early successes. When a pilot team achieves a win, no matter how small, we need to broadcast it. Success creates momentum and gets other teams excited to participate. Finally, based on the lessons learned from the pilots, we begin to expand the rollout, forming new quality circles in other areas and continuing to build on our success. This phase is all about demonstrating the value of TQM through tangible results. Finally, we reach Phase 3, integration and continuous improvement. This isn't a phase with an end date. This is how we make TQM a permanent part of our culture. First, we must integrate TQM into our daily work. This means quality and improvement are no longer special projects. They become topics in our daily meetings and part of our performance reviews. Second, we establish a recognition system. Formally celebrating the teams who make successful improvements is critical for motivation and showing that the organization values this work. And third, we conduct regular TQM reviews. The steering committee must regularly check the progress of the whole system. This applies the PDCA cycle to our TQM journey itself, ensuring we are always learning and adapting. This final phase is what transforms TQM from a training event into the way we achieve operational excellence every day.
The final and most important part of our training is committing to actions. A good idea is worthless without a clear plan to make it a reality. As we move from training to implementation, every improvement project needs a structured action plan. This isn't complicated, but it is essential. Briefly point to each bullet point as you speak. First, define your focus area and a specific, measurable objective. Next, establish your KPIs. How will you measure success? You need to know your starting point, the baseline, and your target. Then, list the specific, key actions you will take. Critically, every action must have an owner and a due date. This creates accountability. Finally, set a review plan to follow up regularly and ensure the project stays on track. This simple structure transforms a good idea into a professional project plan and is the key to turning our learning into real-world results.
The goal of this training is not just learning TQM, but doing TQM. Quality is a journey, not a destination, and it starts with the first small improvement you make tomorrow. Thank you for your commitment to excellence.
That brings us to the end of the formal presentation. We've covered a lot of ground, and I want to open the floor for any final questions you might have about anything we've discussed. Thank you all for your active participation, great questions, and hard work over these presentations. I'm confident that you have the tools and knowledge to begin your journey. I wish you the best of luck, and thank you for your time and attention.
Have a nice day.